Hi friends, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel for a Friday bonus video. It has been so long since we've just sat down, hung out together, done like a Q&A chill style video, so I was really wanting to do one of those today. I actually woke up this morning so excited to do this because I feel like it's the type of video format that's the most interactive with y'all. So I just feel really close to you and it's so fun and so easy to film and I just look forward to them so much. I did move some of my Friday bonus videos around to post this the same week that I was filming it because I feel like it's important to have Q&A videos come out kind of close to when you film them because things can change, you know? So filming this the same week that I'm putting this out there to the world, and I went ahead and asked you to send me some of your favorite questions and some of your best questions on Instagram, which if you don't follow me over there, here is my Instagram handle. I love to ask you guys for your opinions or for questions or for topics or all sorts of things over there. So follow me over there if you don't already, and I've screenshotted a ton of really good questions from you guys. So we're gonna hang out, we're gonna get a beverage. I just got this limoncello LaCroix and it is so good. It has like a slight vanilla hint to it. It's almost like an orange creamsicle, but lemon. So good. And we're gonna get right into it. I screenshotted a ton of different questions from more like overall general advice questions to questions about my future, about businessy type things, and about some very personal questions as well. So a little bit of everything. I'm just gonna go in the order that I screenshotted these, which may or may not make sense, but actually the first two are from my good friend Hallie Epps. She put a lot of really good questions in the chat as well, so thank you, Hallie. So I'm just gonna go in the order that they came in. So no rhyme or reason. So first, Hallie asked, what is your love language? My love language for receiving is definitely touch. I'm a very touchy person. That is by far my love language out of anything. But for showing, I think it's tied between words of affirmation and gifts. I love to give people gifts. That's why I love doing giveaways on this channel. It's like how I show appreciation. So I would say that those are my top for receiving and for giving. And she said, who do you seek emotional or verbal support from other than Brook? And I thought this was a very interesting question because I do look to Brook for emotional and verbal support, but not a lot. And when I was thinking about it, I feel like I actually don't look to a lot of people for emotional or verbal support. And I think that that's a new realization I had. I mean, it's nice and I enjoy it, but I don't need it. I think I'm used to being in an industry and in a career like acting to where you receive no encouragement, no verbal support whatsoever. It's kind of like a, okay, thanks, we'll call you, and they don't call you kind of thing. So I think just being raised in that environment since I was 9, I don't need it. I've never had it really in the outside world. My parents were great at it, but I don't know. I don't need it, which is weird. And do you have a life motto? I would say that I've talked about this before a little bit in the past, but one life motto that I've been really trying to live by this year in particular is why not now? Looking back at my life, a lot of the things that I regret the most is really just procrastinating things that I knew I wanted to do. Procrastinating starting a YouTube channel or moving out to LA or anything that I knew I wanted to do. If I hesitated or waited, looking back, I'm so bummed that I missed out on such a valuable time. So I've been trying to tell myself, why not now? Like, why hesitate? There's really very little benefit to waiting. I think it's better to start now and to start small and to maybe not be the best and work towards it day by day than to just wait until you're ready. Because what does ready even really mean? You know, what does that even really look like? I think it's something you have to figure out as you go. Hi, Sam. Sam, who I met actually at the one like coffee hang meetup I've ever done, submitted a question and she said, what are your tips for great time management? Love you, girl. Love you too. I would say that my biggest tip for me personally, and this might not work for everyone, is wake up before the world is up. I find waking up early, I like to wake up like honestly 3 to 4 hours before Brooke wakes up, is the most valuable part of my day because I work 10 times as efficient. There's no distractions. There's nothing going on. It's quiet outside and I get done almost a full day's of work before 10 a.m. which is crazy. And then I have the whole rest of the day to still continue to work on things, but I can then kind of take the pressure off of myself because I've already gotten so much done. Now that is because I just my brain is a morning person. That might not work for you if you're not a morning person, but that's been what has helped me the most with time management, is just be rigorous about getting out of bed, and then the rest kind of falls into place. I've had a lot of questions about my doodles that I've been doing on Instagram. I'll insert a couple of them here so that you can see what I mean, but I've been doing these and a lot of people wanted to know why I started doing them and what I use. I might show you exactly how I make these in an upcoming vlog. I do have an Instagram account for these now. It's Made by Michel. I will put that down below also. But I have an iPad, not even a Pro. I think it's the 7th generation, 128 gigabyte. iPad Pros are like $1,000, which is crazy. This was like maybe $320, I think. And I got an Apple Pencil, which I actually didn't even have for the first couple weeks of me doing this. And I do everything on Procreate, which is a $10 app. It's like a super easy app. And I got my iPad and I got Procreate actually just to be able to like make thumbnails and titles for videos, like as a business expense. But I started watching tutorials on how to use it, and all those tutorials were like art-based tutorials, and I was like, that looks fun, so I'm gonna try it. And I ended up loving it, but I kind of feel like a fraud because I am terrible at art. Like, I'm not an artist. I can't do anything with my hands. I have the worst handwriting. Like, I'm bad at everything, but I'm pretty good at like learning softwares and like figuring out different tips and tricks. So because of that, I have had a lot of fun just like figuring out how to manipulate the different brushes and the different techniques and the different tools it offers, which has been really fun. But I feel guilty posting it because I'm a terrible artist. Like, I'm terrible. Like, a lot of this, I trace pictures and then just figure out how to manipulate all the different brushes to like add shading and add depth and add highlights and all these different things to actually make it look decent. I don't know. But I might show you more in depth of how I do it in a vlog because like I said, I'm definitely not an artist, so if I can do it, anybody can do it. I thought this was a very interesting question. Since you were a server, what are your tips to be a good customer and what are your pet peeves? Oh, I could do a whole video on this, but so many people do so many things that they don't realize are impolite at restaurants. And if you're a server, you'd realize like that is so impolite, but people just, I think that I've never worked in the food industry, don't realize that what they're doing is just so rude. Like, I would say my biggest pet peeve was being waved at. I would be at another table and be like, my hands would be full of plates and I would be trying to help someone get something and another table would be just like waving me down. And I'd be like, hi, yes, can I help you? And they were like, can I have a straw? And I'd be like, yes, I will be right back with that. Give me a second type of thing. Obviously, I'd always be really nice to people, but in my mind, I'd be like, that couldn't have waited for like 15 seconds for me to finish up talking to this table and go put these plates down. You know, I would say that servers are really good at reading body language. So literally, if you just were to like sit up straight and like maybe just like glance up, we'd be like, that table needs something. And we would come to you as soon as possible. So that's something that would happen all the time. Another thing, this is something that people don't realize is just a big burden for servers, but is having servers break cash for 2 reasons. Either like giving them $100 bill for like a very small bill, because we have to bring our own bank to work, meaning we have to bring our own cash to make changes. And if we need to make you $80 in change, we probably don't have $80 in cash in our wallet. So we have to go ask the bartender to do it when they're like backed up with drinks. And then the bartender gets mad at us and it's like this whole big thing. But I know that that is like sometimes people just don't have smaller bills and they don't have a credit card or whatever. But that's something that would happen a lot and people wouldn't really realize can like really throw off your flow as a server. And the one thing that's kind of like the more rude version of that people would do is say if there was like, say a bill was $16 and you give me a $20 bill and you ask for change, I'm gonna go have to make change because maybe you wanted to leave me a $3 tip instead of a $4 tip and make the change and everything like that for just like a dollar discrepancy on like what you want to tip a server. That's something that would happen a lot too, and it would really throw off, just making change in general throws off the flow, and sometimes it's justified, but sometimes it's like, really? Like, you really just wanted to tip me $1 less. That's me being way too real. But those were things like as servers that we would talk about, we'd be like, people just don't even know. People just don't even know. That's me saying that for my fellow friends that are still servers. I liked this one. Who inspires you the most from social media? What are you watching on YouTube, like for business purposes? I've loved Erin May Henry and Michelle B for like business, productivity, entrepreneurship, girl boss type stuff. And then I also really love Thomas Frank. I actually found Thomas Frank I love watching Skillshare classes, and I was watching one of his Skillshare classes and he mentioned YouTube and I was like, oh my gosh, he has a YouTube channel. So I found him there and I've been watching him a lot this week. But those are the people that I love to watch in the morning to get like pumped up and hyped up for the day. This is a good question too. What is your favorite thing about doing what you do? By the way, love your videos. Thank you. You're the best. This is the first time in my life that I've experienced this feeling, now just only working for myself, but I love the freeing feeling of waking up in the morning and asking myself, what do I want to do today? Like, obviously, I hold myself to very, very high expectations with what I want to get done in all areas of my job, from YouTube to Jancy the Label to starting different side hustles like the podcast we're in pre-production for, and like the blog and like random little side things that I start here and there. I hold myself to doing a lot, but I still get to wake up in the morning and ask myself what I want to do today. Like this morning, I know that I have to film a bonus video today. I'm trying to fit in a week's worth of work in 3 days because I'm about to go see my family. And so I was like, okay, I know I have to completely do a whole video today, like start to finish, edit, upload, whatever, but what do I want it to be, you know? So like that's been so freeing, just to have, I give myself structure as to the types of things that I need to get done, but then I give myself the flexibility as to how I want to do it and what subcategories within that I want to do. So I just love the freedom, you know? This is a good one too. What is your 5 to 10 year plan personally, not professionally? I would say like the only personal goals I really have is I would love to move into a house within the next year. Our lease isn't even up until November, and I actually did a vlog, like heart-to-heart chat with Brook that's coming out tomorrow, and he was like, we should make it a goal for you to hit 250 subscribers before we move into a house. And I looked it up on Social Blade. I'm supposed to hit that in a year and 2 months. So I'm gonna hold him to that. Whenever I hit 250,000 subscribers, I wanna move into a house, which I actually think, it wouldn't be a cute house, but we could find houses for literally as much as we're paying for this apartment, with a yard and with at least a second bedroom, maybe a third. And then this is kind of like a personal plan, and I got asked this question a million times, is do you want kids? When do you want kids? Yes, I want kids. I'm 23 right now. Ideally, as of now, and my opinions might change, but I don't really want to start trying for kids until maybe 29, 30. So really not for like 6, 7 years. I want to have kids a little bit like later in life, if that makes sense. I would love to have 2 kids between the ages of 29 and 32. That's like my ideal scenario, is 2 kids, 2 to 3 years apart, late 20s, early 30s. My mom had me at like 34, and I'm the oldest, and my dad was 36. So they had me quite a bit later in life, given that wasn't their plan, that wasn't their intention. They tried to have kids for, I think, 8 years before I worked as IVF. But I really liked having older parents now, given, I guess, I don't know what that looks like in the future, but they were in a spot in life to where they were very financially stable, and my mom was able to be a stay-at-home mom, and I just like liked that quality of life, and I feel like they had felt very like fulfilled, given, like I said, it wasn't their plan, but they had done a lot before kids, and hearing their experiences of, you know, really enjoying a long time of just being married without kids and then being able to really enjoy having kids, I like the way that sounds, and I would love to do something similar for myself. I have a lot of things that I want to do before kids. I don't want to have kids until I can afford to have help, and I don't want to slow down on all the things I'm doing in my business sense, and so I would want to have a team. Like, I would want to have a virtual assistant, or maybe even an in-person assistant, so I could spend more time with my kids but still keep up everything I'm doing. Does that make sense? And like, I wouldn't be in the financial spot for that for quite a while. I had someone ask me about my 2 tattoo. It's really hard to show this on camera. It's like at the weirdest spot to where, like, it's funny because for auditions, you have to slate with your hands like this to show that you don't have any sort of like tattoos or whatever, but it's in this one weird spot that when I do this with my hands, even when I turn them around, you can't see the tattoo. It's like in the weirdest spot. But I have this little 2 tattoo. I'm about to dislocate my shoulder trying to show you that Brook has the exact same matching tattoo on his wrist, his opposing wrist, and it's just simply because our anniversary is February 2nd. So our anniversary is 2/2. So I thought it was cute because it's like, it's the 2 of us, it's matching, and at the same time when it's together, it's our anniversary date. Simple, it's cute. She also asked, do you have any more? No, it's my only tattoo. I've kind of toyed around with the idea of tattoos, additional ones in the past, but I don't think, the only spot I would want one is here, but I don't know if I would be strong enough to withstand that. Although this didn't hurt at all, like at all. So I don't know, maybe I have a higher pain tolerance than I realized. But if I did get something else, I would actually, the little floral design on the Jancy the Label crew necks was kind of inspired by an idea I've always had in my head for a tattoo, and that is combining all the different birth month flowers of the people in my life closest to me. So there's March for my parents' anniversary in honor of them, there's May for my sister's birthday, there's January for my husband's birthday, and then there's February for our anniversary in honor of our marriage. So I would love to get something similar to that, or even that exact same thing as a tattoo one day, but who knows if I will. Maybe not. I liked this one because this is something I haven't talked about in a while. I have talked about this once before, but she said, hope I'm not being too nosy, pun intended, but how did Brooke feel about your nose job? And I feel like I haven't talked about getting my nose done in so long, and I'm sure so many of you on this channel probably don't even know that I did get my nose done, but I did when I was 19. And I paid for it myself. It was my first big girl purchase, and I was dating Brook at that point. And he had a very healthy, unbiased opinion about it. Like, I told him that I really wanted to do it, and he was like, you know what, it's your body. I think that you're beautiful as is, and I don't think that it's something that you need to do. If it would make you feel more confident and happy, like, that's your choice to make. And he said, but God made you, God made your nose, so that's a conversation that you need to have between you and him. And I thought that was a completely mature and appropriate response. Kind of like, I don't think you need to, but this isn't my spot to input, and I want you to be happy type of thing. And so he was supportive, but he also didn't feel like it was necessary at all, which is kind of like the best response I could have asked for in a partner when trying to decide if I wanted to change something about myself cosmetically. I have a whole video on that. I made it forever ago, so it's very low quality, but talking about why I did it, my experience with it, the cost associated, and everything like that. And if you want an updated video, I should probably do a higher quality version of that, so let me know down below, but I could do an updated video. Man, let's see, how many more do we have? Ooh, we still got quite a, there's so many good ones. I think I'm just gonna make this a long video because I love these so much. But this is a good one. Someone said, how is it being a Christian in Hollywood? And you know what's so interesting is I have found so many more friends that are so much more on fire for Jesus out here than I did back in my like very conservative Christian small town Texas hometown. And I think it's because where I was raised, Christianity is kind of like assumed, you know, it's like the norm. A lot of people don't really like personally make the choice. It's just like my parents went to church, I go to church, it's just what we do. We're out here, everybody that is really involved in a church or even like coffee shop culture is very Christian based in LA, which it's so odd, you'd never guess. Like, I've had so many in-depth conversations about Jesus with baristas, but people out here, I think since it's almost assumed that you're not a Christian in LA, just like the cultural differences in a way that people feel it's much more of a personal choice and therefore are so much more vocal about it and on fire about it and excited about it, which that's just my personal experience from being raised someplace that is very, very like conservative Christian small town to a more like outspoken, diverse, large artistic city. So it's been interesting. It's almost the opposite of what I would have expected, but I almost find more Christians day to day out in LA than I did where I was raised, which is so not what I would have expected. Because you settled down kind of young, I did. I got married at 21. Do you ever wish that you had more time to be young? No, honestly, I would say this is a character flaw in myself, but I always want to be older than I am. I always look at my life and I think I am so behind in life for being 38. And then I remember, oh, wait, I'm 23, I'm not 38. So I think if anything, I need to try to remind myself to be young, but I have no desire to be like the cliche young. I have every desire to try to be as mature and advanced of a version of myself as possible. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, what are older, more successful, more wise people saying? What are they doing? How can I implement that into my life? How can I learn from their mistakes and their challenges and hopefully have a less stressful life myself and get further quicker and all of those types of things. So I have no desire to like be young / I've never really liked like the cliche parts of being young. I don't like nightlife. I don't drink. I'm not a very like, I don't know. Like all the cliche parts of being young just isn't really appealing to me, but I do obviously appreciate that I am young and that I have like all of this, I don't know, time and energy. Hopefully we all never know what our future looks like, but I appreciate it, but I don't feel like I've missed out on anything and I have no desire to like go back and be young, you know? What is one thing you regret about moving to California? I regret nothing, but one thing that is hard is having my family so far away. And honestly, with age, I miss them more and more every day. And this funny thing happened where I moved here with no friends and I made friends, and literally 3 of our friend couples so far have moved. I'm from a small town called Boerne, Texas. 20 minutes away, there's another small town called New Braunfels. So small. 3 of our couple friends have now moved there, 20 minutes next to where I came from, and we recently learned this week that our very best friends in the whole wide world are considering moving there as well. The thing that's hard for me is realizing that no matter where I'm gonna live, I'm gonna feel like I'm missing out on something, because everything that I love is in California, like career-wise, lifestyle-wise, like my dreams are here, but now everyone I love is in Texas, and I'm getting a little bit emotional thinking about that now all of my best friends are now 20 minutes away from all of my childhood best friends and all of my family. Like everybody I love that I've met through all of my phases of life all live 20 minutes from each other on the other side of the US. And that's something that's really hard. That's something that I know that I'm gonna make more friends, and that, you know, friends come in seasons, but everyone besides Brook that my heart cares about the most is so far away yet so close to each other, even if they don't know each other. But everything that my heart desires to do in life is out here, and that's something that's so hard. It's a bummer, and I wish I could have it all. But if I live in Texas, I'm gonna feel like I'm missing out on everything that I want to do with my life, and if I live here, I'm gonna feel like I'm missing out on valuable time with everyone I care the most about. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. Living away from your family is not fun. Something a little more lighthearted is, what is your favorite baby girl names? I love like gender neutral names for baby girls. Like I actually think Cooper is a really cute name for a girl, or like Charlie, or you know, names like that. I think maybe because I have like a boyish name, but the name that I've loved since I was so young, and I might use this as a baby girl name one day, I might not, I don't know, but is Christy-Anne. I made it up. I know that that's like a rock structure, and I didn't know that at the time when I made it up because I was literally like 9, but my dad's Chris, my mom's Carolyn, so it's kind of honoring both of them as Christy-Anne, and I'd call her Chrissy, Chris, Crystal, Christy, probably Chris. My dad's name's Chris, so after him I think would be cute, and it's kind of like mixing up, you know, like gender neutral names for a girl. So I love that, and I'd love to do, so I'm Christiane Michel. I'd love to do Christy-Anne Marie. Brooke's mom's middle name is Marie, so kind of after her. And for boys, I love Cooper Michael. Cooper is Brooke's favorite name, and Michael's my dad's middle name. So there's like sentimentality into all of that, and it's Christiane Michel, Christy-Anne Marie, and Cooper Michael I feel like are all really cute names, but I've liked them now for like 7 years, which is saying a lot. Well, Christy-Anne I've liked since I was like 9, but that like combination of names I've liked for a long time, but I might not like those names anymore in 6 years when I actually have kids, so who knows. Ugh, there's so many more questions, and I've already been talking for like 30 minutes. Let's do 2 more. Someone wants to know how Jancy the label's going, how the clothing line in general is going. It's going really good. We've made so many changes. So I have moved producers. I have a whole new production like team that's kind of helping me with all of that, which is amazing. And I even had like a customer service team under that branch. I've started just basically like sub-hiring out as many parts of it as possible, meaning I'm probably not gonna personally profit from Jancy label for a long time, but I don't really care to profit off of it right now. I want it to be as seamless as possible and hopefully scale easily, having like a team set up now, so that one day it could turn into something really big. So because of that, we've gone through so many transitions, like trying to get all of my inventory from LA to Utah, where our new warehouse is, was so stressful. And we basically already had all of the summer items ready to go with my producer out here, but we were like starting from scratch with a whole new producer out there using like Utah people instead of LA people. So like that's a whole new thing. So we're getting all of our samples made for summer items right now. I also just paid so much money for them to build me out a new website. So I'm about to have a whole new website because everyone wanted to have Afterpay integrated. So hopefully we'll have Afterpay soon. I want to integrate PayPal because that's how I check out on everything, and hopefully be able to open back up international shipping. Oh my gosh, this is one thing, y'all. International shipping. I really wanted to offer it, and we were using USPS has like an automatic calculator, and it would automatically calculate the shipping rates when you check out on my website. And for international people, it was calculating like $30 to ship, which I was like, that's so expensive, but whatever. If they want to pay it, like that's their decision to make. So I had like 10 international orders the first week, and then when I went to go print my own shipping labels, it was charging me over $70 per international order. So I was losing like $50 an order. So I was losing, and I don't make a big profit off of Jancy the label because I try to offer like the highest possible quality at the lowest possible price point, which is really bad business mindset because I'm literally, I don't know if I'm ever gonna profit off of it, but I want to try to appeal to everyone, both price point and ethics and quality. So I was, for each international order, losing profit from equivalent of like 8 orders. It was so bad. So I'm excited to get that figured out. I'm hoping that we're gonna have our first few summer items probably within 4 weeks ready to go. And then I have a couple more items that we were working on, but we've decided to push those as fall launches. So they kind of all go together in a way, but part of them will be coming out as summer as like a smaller launch, and part of them will be coming out in fall as a smaller launch, just from like the financial side of things, because to do samples and do full inventory stocks of all of that is too much money for me right now. So we're gonna do a couple items and a couple items. And let's end on something fun. Do you see yourself living in LA for the rest of your life? This kind of goes back to that same question that I talked about of like the difficulty of no matter where I feel, I'm gonna feel like I am homesick from the other spot. But I moved out to LA for acting. And one thing that's been so interesting is the more and more I get into this and all of my like more entrepreneurship endeavors with everything that I want to do with my own career, the less and less I feel attached to acting, which is very odd. In fact, from like a financial point of view, a lot of times when I get auditions nowadays, I look at what it will pay and I honestly get annoyed at the fact that I would have to take off from all of my current endeavors to film that thing if I were to book the role, and I would actually be losing money, which is like a very odd dynamic that has happened as I have started to become self-employed and make decent-ish money and work for myself. So acting is like my first love, something that I always want to do, but I live in LA mostly for that reason. So I don't know if I'll continue to like almost emotionally detach from that desire more as I find more success and more excitement with all the things I'm doing on my own terms. I feel like my ideal best case scenario would be one day to get to a financial position to have like a small townhouse out here and then a house in Austin and split my time there if that's possible. Like maybe live out here during baseball season for Brook and then live in Texas during the rest of the year, be near my family, and to kind of have the best of both worlds, which I don't know how that would work with kids because eventually they'd have to be in school. But you know, if that was possible, that's what I'd love to do, and I feel like that'd be the best of both worlds. But obviously having 2 homes and commuting back and forth is pretty freaking expensive. So who knows if that would ever happen. More realistically, I would love to stay here forever. I would love to, but I would love to be near my parents, especially once I have kids. So I don't know, maybe I can convince them to move out here. That's never gonna happen. I don't know. All that to say is, I don't know, I feel like my heart's always gonna be torn no matter where I am, which is a bummer, but so goes life, you know? And who knows how my opinions will change. Maybe the acting scene will pick back up in Austin one day and I can kind of have it all. I grew up acting in Austin, but it's so much slower than out here. I'd go on like 2 auditions a week out there, where I go out on like 2 to 3 auditions a day during busy seasons out here. So it's just a whole different pace of life. But that's where my thoughts are. And I'm gonna go ahead and end here because I think I've blabbled on for like 30 minutes now, pre-edit, and I didn't even get to all the questions I screenshotted. So thank y'all so much for getting such good questions into me. I wish I could go through all of them. I honestly want to do more of these. Let me know if you enjoy these or not. Like I said, this is just so easy and fun for me to do. It's so enjoyable, and I really feel like I get to connect to you guys and like have a dialogue with y'all, which makes my heart feel very happy. So I love you so much. Thank you as always for hanging out with me and for being my friend and for being a part of this community. You mean the world to me, and I know I can say that and it might just be words to you, but like I mean that. I mean that you do mean the world to me. So thank you. I love you. I hope you have the best rest of your day, and I will see you in a video very soon. Bye.